Hey everyone. Today's topic, allow yourself to age gracefully. I've noticed that quite a lot of people, especially in Western countries, don't like aging. And this makes sense, right? Because two things tend to happen when we age. One, we don't look as good, and two, we aren't able to do the things we used to do when we were younger. So many people have this really unhealthy relationship with aging because they don't want to age. And it makes sense. But at the same time, our view of aging is really unhealthy. Like, we shouldn't view it as such a bad thing when it's something we can't control. Like, try to stop yourself from aging. Good luck doing that, right? I don't know how the hell it would work. Maybe if you freeze yourself, but we don't know if that's possible. Well, maybe it's, I don't know. So good luck doing that, right? This is something outside of our control for the most part. We can't really stop ourselves from aging. And even if you could freeze yourself theoretically, you're still not going to be able to stop yourself from aging. Maybe you could slow it down, maybe even tremendously. We don't know. Maybe there's some kind of technology we could eventually create that would do so. But you would still age, even though it would just be way slower than our normal rate. So we can't stop it from happening, right? You can't. That's the nature of life. Things are born and then they exist for a long period of time and then they no longer exist. And that's the way it is for us human beings as well. Like, it's so interesting how we have such it's not even a love-hate relationship, it's just pure hate relationship with aging. Very few people like it. And it's kind of weird. Like, it is a byproduct of us being able to think the way we do, because you certainly don't see animals out there being afraid of aging, right? They just naturally exist, go through their life, and they adapt to getting older and not being as quick for the predators. And in most cases, the predators have to rely on their packs if they are a pack animal, and if they're a solo hunter, then yeah, their time will be numbered as they get older. But animals just learn to adapt to aging. They don't fear it or hate it. It happens to them. I mean, then again, we can't really know if they think about these things because they may not have the capacity to do so. But anyway, my whole point there is we should be more like them in this regard. We should just accept that it happens and do what we can to allow ourselves to age gracefully, because that is something within our control. We can certainly choose to stop eating junk food and a ton of sugar and carbs all the time and aim to eat a better diet, get proper nutrition so our body's actually getting the fuel it needs to create more cells, because that's the whole point of eating, right? You're not meant to eat for pleasure. That's how you get really unhealthy and obese. You're meant to eat to sustain new cell creation. So that's the first thing a lot of people need to do, is start thinking in that way when it comes to their diet. But then beyond that, just aim to exercise or work out, lift weights, that sort of thing, so you stay in good shape as well. And then you can also wear sunscreen to protect your skin, wear less makeup for all the women because your makeup doesn't number on your skin over time, and use less hair dye because that also will destroy your hair over time, and just things like that. There are things we can do to be preventative, to allow ourselves to age a bit more gracefully. But you can't stop yourself from aging. So don't hate it, just accept it, come to terms with it. It's a natural part of life, and in some ways it can even be a very beautiful thing. For instance, I've seen pictures of elderly people who have their gray hair, but they still have their smile and their laugh lines around their eyes, and they look beautiful. You can tell that they've lived great lives. That's what we should aspire to age gracefully like that. Not to hit their age and still be dyeing our hair because we're insecure about how old we are. That's stupid, right? Everyone around you will know you're older, so at that point you're just doing it for your own sake because you feel that, yeah, there's no point in having shame surrounding getting older. I mean, I understand why a lot of people do. Like, our cultures are set up to make it so that we don't really like aging. In fact, some cultures are even almost against the elderly. It seems like Western countries kind of have gone that way. It's like people don't respect the elderly as much anymore because we have Google now, so we don't need to rely on their wisdom as much. And yeah, so that does suck. But also I understand that, like, our cultures tend to be way too focused on appearances. This is why so many people don't like getting older, because sure, the part where you can't do the things you used to be able to do when you were younger sucks, but that's only the case if you don't take care of yourself. But most people are more concerned with the fact that they won't look as attractive. which is also dumb because, again, we can't control it. So even though our societies are pretty much set up in such a way that they focus on appearance, strive not to make it an important part of your own life. I do get that that's difficult to do because, I mean, heck, one of the reasons why we've hit this place where appearance is everything and why people create their sole identity will be their appearance is because we've all been victims of clever marketing that's trying to sell us products, mainly beauty products, of course, makeup, and then also fashion with clothing and whatnot. All these industries are trying to sell their crap to us, so they try to make us feel insecure by saying, oh, are you getting older? Are you not looking as good? Take this product and you will look a lot better. And they try to sell products to us like that. But the problem with that clever marketing, more like predatory marketing almost, is it changes our mindset, especially surrounding aging. Because now people are afraid to grow older because they've attached that with growing older means you become uglier. And we don't want that. But that's not even necessarily true. Like I said, if you take good care of yourself, you can age gracefully. But even beyond that, we shouldn't even worry about this. We shouldn't be concerned with it. We should just accept the fact that we will age. We won't look as good, but hopefully if you take good care of yourself, you'll still be able to do many of the things you used to do when you were younger. But beyond that, naturally, this is something that will happen to all of us. You can't escape it. So it's best to just accept it. Go the way of the Stoics, right? The Stoics were often saying there's no point in getting worked up over things you can't control because you can't do anything about them, right? But in this case, there are things you can do to mitigate it. Like I said, you can age gracefully, but you can't stop yourself from aging. So just accept it, come to terms with it, aim to age gracefully, and realize there is a beauty in aging, because there is. The older you get, that means the more life experience you've had, the more beautiful memories you've been able to create with others, and the more you've just been able to see the beauty of life and the beauty in people around you and create wonderful relationships with others and just have basically a lot of life experience to your name that hopefully will make you a rather beautiful person overall. But even with that will come wisdom. I understand, as I said earlier, the youth don't really tend to respect the elderly as much anymore because, yeah, they have Google now. They don't really need to rely on the wisdom of an elderly person. But regardless of that, you'll still just have all this knowledge at your fingertips from having lived a long and good life. So there is a beauty in aging. We don't really talk about it much because, yeah, everybody's focused on appearances and it's unfortunate. But hopefully by watching this video, I've been able to somewhat shift your mindset around aging, because we really ought to just aim to view it in a different light, and then overall aim to just age gracefully. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I truly hope you enjoyed this one. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.